nice couple boat lengths here, and that is very impressive. Leonard Takahashi and his crew have sailed together a lot. They're superb sailors, and to do that to somebody of that quality, Harry's on fire here.
Yeah, and we see Killian in the other match is way ahead of Jakobsen by 8+ boat lengths. Our guys are telling us it's really helpful to have perfected this spotting system. I know other regattas don't have it down quite as well as our gang does, and we sure appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
tell the audience who all these guys are.
Well,
we've got
Chris Shepard, who is our veteran spotter, and helping him is a crewman from last year's Governor's Cup winner, Harrison Vandervoort. And we've got Christoph Schaman up helping on the bow. We've got Meg even, who is somehow related to you, Tom. Tom's daughter Meg is running our aft camera here, where we get the close-ups around the boats. We've got Staff Commodore Peter Bretschker and Kari Bretschker, who are kind enough or stupid enough to let us use their boat as our platform. Our Tom Purcell, who is another Staff Commodore and and whose parents founded this event, is our boat driver. And let's go back to the racing here. Harry is still maintaining a lead, but you know what happens here sometimes, Tom, is these puffs, when it's not totally filled in, you'll get a puff from astern, and it looks to me like Takahashi has gotten a little closer here, not much.
And Harry immediately defended. He heated up, sailed across his bow, protected the downwind left side of the course, so when he comes back now, he will be on starboard tack and have the right-of-way as they go into the gate.
Yep.
Look at
here he comes.
Look at how hard I mean by hard, I mean he goes reach to reach jibing, gets the speed, and then will bear off, soak down. And he's just coming so much, he's out of those jibes going so much faster than most of the opposition.
Yes, indeed. He's also on a much higher point of sail here now. He's going quite a bit faster than Takahashi, who is in the process of jibing right now. Takahashi looks like he's going to try to just come in and go to the most westerly of the ends and go up the beach again. We'll see how that works. Harry crossing him not by a lot there, Tom.
You're right.
Not by a lot.
Leonard's closed up here as they come into the gate.
The gap.
We're in flight 22, the last of the rounds robin, the double round robin. Each of the 12 teams have sailed each of the other 11 teams now twice in matches over the last 3 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a couple of the matches holding over for today, Friday. The semifinals will begin right after this, as we see Harry Price choosing to go upwind left and Takahashi rounding the right end of the gate as we look upwind to begin leg 3.
Yeah, I don't think there was much in it right to left last time. The only reason they were overlapped at that weather mark was that Harry had to make those 2 extra tacks. So I don't think there's much in it, but Harry Price, obviously getting to decide, being the leading boat there, chose to go offshore a little bit. So let's see how this works out. Leonard Takahashi, on the other hand, continuing up on port tack up the beach a bit. And here comes Harry. Now both on the same tack. At some point, what Leonard will do here is wait to see if he gets headed, meaning the wind would shift slightly to the right, which would give him an advantage if he tacks. And he may just be waiting for that, Tom, rather than trying to immediately go engage.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he has to hope for now. He sails out to the right and hopes for a little more pressure or for a header, for the wind to go a little toward the west, in which case he can tack and would have a better angle toward the top mark. This is leg 3 of 4. Right now he looks high. I don't know if that's the angle of the drone shot, but he looks like he's sailing. That is Leonard Takahashi, sailing quite a bit higher than Price.
Yeah, it looks like it if you actually look out there too, not just on our monitor here. But, yeah, that great drone footage, you all. We really appreciate that. Yeah, this is interesting. I think he is up, and I think Harry's slightly down.
Now Harry's probably in footing mode, meaning he's cracked off a little bit. He's eased his sails and he's trying to go fast forward through the water rather than pointing high to get over there and try to stay in contact, maybe even get across Leonard Takahashi. But here he's tacking now. He will have starboard right of way as they come together.
And let's see what happens on this cross. You know, Tom, we also might invite Harrison Vandervoort to come join us here for a few minutes. Harrison certainly knows more about this than probably you and I do at this point, having won the Governor's Cup last year with Christoph Killian.
Well, I wouldn't get carried away, but you know, he did show up on my morning show yesterday as a pirate, a bloody pirate with some kind of a Viking hat on. Here's the cross. Harrison, what do you think of this cross? Come sit between us.
Okay.
There's not much that gets between Andy and I, but
There you go.
we'll let you, and then you can hear on our mics too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Harrison. This is quite a race here. You, as I said, Harrison was on Christoph Killian's crew for many years, and they finally pulled it off last year, breaking
Yes,
a
we did.
37-year-old drought for a Balboa Yacht Club team to win the Governor's Cup. This looks pretty familiar up there, Harrison.
It does look pretty familiar. I'm looking at these crosses and I'm really thinking that who's leading right now? We've got Price leading, and he's doing a really great job of soft covering. That's really important with maintaining your lead here. We're seeing Takahashi go back, and again, he's just trying to keep it in the middle. That's classic when you're trying to get into attacking, doing make up any ground you possibly can.
Well, isn't it that the boat behind really wants to make the race as long as possible? So if you can get your opponent who is leading you into tacking every time you do, then you're gonna, you have a chance, or at least a better chance of perhaps passing.
Exactly, but we do know that the right is coming in, and we just saw Price go out right, so we might be expecting some gains as they split. That was something that we always worried about on our boat between Christoph, Jack, and I splitting. It was always something could go wrong if you split more than 10, 15 lengths.
Yeah, I was thinking that he's really splitting a lot, more than I would.
But it is interesting here. We're seeing.
Hang on, we're hearing the advice.
Finish, and then we'll have the top placer in the round robin come over to the committee boat and choose his opponent for the semifinals, and then we'll set up the rotation for the semifinals.
Thanks, copy.
Okay, so at any rate, yeah, we were just talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Don Becker, that was on the radio. That's the principal race officer, the esteemed principal race officer at Balboa Yacht Club. Has been running these races, Andy, for how long?
A long time.
Years, right?
Many years.
Does a superb job telling us, well, you heard what he told us. So I was going to ask, may I ask Harrison a question? You've been watching, is this your first day on the water this week?
This will be my first day. I was out here with the junior program earlier in the week.
He was pillaging yesterday.
That's yes.
Pillaging as a Viking.
He was busy pillaging.
Your junior program at Balboa is the largest it's ever been, 100.
I think in the last decade, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I heard it was a historical high. So congratulations to the club and to you who are the coaches. And it was what I liked about that was that you had the kids all dressed up and they're down on the dock, and it's not just about racing or sailing; it's about having fun at your club, and I think it's great.
I think that's where we saw this race start too, with just having fun. So here we are at the top mark, and we're seeing is that Harry Price leading. Easy cross, right on the ley line.
So Harry Price, as we knew, Andy, going into this, is going to win the rounds robin portion of this regatta, and even whether or not he wins this race. And as you heard Dr. Don Becker say, he'll have Harry over to his committee boat. He gets to choose which of the other three. Harrison, if you were Harry Price, and you've seen now what's gone on today, and, well, you've read the results.
Yes, I have.
Who would you choose if you were in Harry's shoes?
I always think it's an easy answer to take the fourth place boat. Historically, you take them because they have more losses, and that's an easy answer there. So I'd take Weiss. However, we do think that you can say sometimes you'd like to take out the competition first, and we've seen him do that in the past Gov Cups, and sometimes it's backfired on him. I think I recall him racing Nevin Snow, and that didn't go as well as he would have liked it.
And last year he chose Leonard Takahashi, and that too did not go very well.
Let's confirm who is in fourth place. Killian won his last match against Jakobsen, right?
Yes.
So he will be on 15 points. Weiss is also on 15 points, if my notes here are correct. And if that's the case, who won between Weiss and Killian in the second round robin? Can we check that on the – because it may be that Killian is fourth place, or it may be the Weiss is. Okay, well, we'll check that.
I don't think that's right. I think Weiss lost 2 of his 3 today.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Killian has won 2 of his 3. So
So
Weiss is fourth. I'm pretty sure. But at any
Yeah,
rate, it's not. I think what Harrison was saying.
Okay, let me hang on here. I think what you said is right. I think Weiss was on 14 points and he won one race, so he's on 15. Going in today, Killian was on 13 and won 2 of his matches. He's also on 15.
Right.
So let's see who broke the tie or who won between Killian and Weiss in round robin 2. But let's go back to this still interesting match.
Well, we're seeing Harry sail a little higher here, and that might be, indicative of him having a little bit of a lull as he's sailing downwind, or just solidifying his gains and to ensure that he's really in the win here.
You know the answer to that.
Well, we do know the answer to that.
Yeah, I think this is part of, certainly was always my match racing philosophy that I was always willing to give up a little part of my lead in order to assure that I would always have the lead. And I think that's what you're seeing here.
Definitely.
Just get in touch, stay in the same sort of air, avoid the chance of the other boat getting a puff, having sailed quite far away from you. So he's just being conservative. My point with the fourth is it really doesn't matter who's fourth. I think Harrison's point was if somebody's lost a lot more races, they may be the one to choose.
Yes.
But I might think that today, since Weiss did not have a very good first 3 races, losing 2 of them, I might well make that same choice.
No, good
Weiss
point.
was the, yeah.
Good point. And they're in the last now couple hundred meters into the finish, and just a soft, I like your expression, soft cover. We used loose cover, but certainly covering jibe for jibe. The red kite of Harry Price well and truly ahead now by, call it 4, maybe 5 boat lengths, as we are about to conclude match 6, the final match of the rounds robin, and we'll be starting the semifinals shortly hereafter. Oh, it's a big lead now.
Yeah, it certainly is. That's pretty good way to end the round robin series, not only winning it, but beating one of the top teams in doing so pretty handily. So that's got to, Leonard and his guys, Josh and Taylor, really have to sort of regroup here. You guys have been in that. You've been in both positions, Harrison. What do you say if you're on Harry's boat, and what do you say if you're on Leonard's boat?
Well, on both boats, we always did a good set, no matter what, or a good douse rather, to really just you race all the way through, and that was something we always did for our own boat mentality, so that you're racing all the way through, and that puts you right in the place you want to be when you're coming into the finals. Going a little bit further on Price's boat, I think we're happy, we're excited. But we do need to take a moment to regroup and know that all of our competitors, if you're in the semifinals of the Governor's Cup, are going to be a tough challenge.
One other point that we forgot, or at least I did, is that Takahashi still owes a penalty throughout it. So Takahashi comes across the finish line, and there is no second in the match racing, as we know, and the umpire still was displaying that yellow flag. So, Harrison, you would not, at this point, if you were Price, you wouldn't choose Takahashi and just say, look, I'm going to keep going and try to. Let's hear what Don Becker says. Yeah. Dr. Don, this is media.
Number 2's got a Lima flag displayed.
Copy. Boat 2.
That's the bosuns talking with the umpires.
Media signal boat.
Signal media.
Yeah, we have some results for you.
Go.
Okay, in 12th place with 3 wins is James Wilson. Break.
Get him to write this down.
In 11th place with 5 wins is David Wood. In 10th place with 6 wins is Felix Jacobson. In 9th place with 9 wins is Scott Sinks. In 8th place, tied with 7th, is Max Whitfield, who lost the tiebreaker to Claire Costanzo in 7th place. 6th place by himself is Will Bolden with 11 points. 5th place with 13 points is Jack Parkin. The top 4 tied for 4th, but losing the tied for 3rd, but losing the tiebreaker is Christopher Weiss with 15, and in 3rd place is Christoph Killian with 15 as well, 15 points. In 2nd place, They haven't given me the scores here, but in second place is Leonard Takahashi with 16. And in first place in the round robin is Harry Price with 17 and a half, I believe. Stand by.
Okay.
Correct, Don. That's how we've got it. 17 and a half for Harry Price. And thank you very much, the PRO, Don Becker. Would you let us know, would you please, when you know who Harry Price has chosen?
Okay, excuse me. Media, first place is Harry Price with 18.5.
Oh, that's right. Correct. He just won his last race.
We're collecting the skippers now for a choice of who wants to sail against who, and then we'll give you the pairings for the semifinals.
Copy. Thanks. Signal boat.
Okay, I want to go back to the question that you answered half of, Harrison. So that was a great analysis of what's probably going on Harry's boat. What's going on Leonard Takahashi's boat right now after a pretty crushing loss there to Harry?
So on Takahashi's boat, I think we've seen him sail pretty conservatively actually in the past Governor's Cups, and in this one maybe a little more aggressively. And whether it's a change of mindset, we're thinking about, okay, maybe that didn't work so well, let's change it up, or what do we need to change different? I think there's something to change. Whenever you don't win a sailboat race, there's always what are we doing differently, and how do we get ahead to win?
Yep.
So on his boat, I think he doesn't get any say in who he races, but he does get a say in how he can change his boat speed and his tactics. So that would be what I would be doing if I was Leonard Takahashi and the crew on that boat.
Very good.
Okay, so technically they're tied for third. Who would you choose, Weiss or Killian?
Ooh, it's a tough decision.
It is.
It is a tough decision. I would choose Weiss. I lost to Killian last year if I was Takahashi, and I wouldn't want to risk that again. Or sorry, Price. Excuse me. I would choose Weiss. I think I would, just from a historical point of view, from my own win record, and that he is in fourth place.
Andrew, who would you choose if you were Harry Price?
I think that's a very good analysis, and that's probably what I would do too.
Okay, well, we'll soon see. We'll soon know.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break here, and we'll be back, I would guess, in about 15 minutes or thereabouts. And we look forward to having you with us for the first race of the semifinals in the 52nd Annual Governor's Cup International Youth Match Racing Championship. Thank you.